Hello and welcome to Trails to Azure Part 72. Last time we climbed up through Orchis Tower's thaumaturgical sector to get to floor 36. And now we're here and it's time to talk to the people there and try to find out where we have to go next, whether it's further up. We might be waiting for Chief Roberts for that, but for now it's time to talk to everyone I can. I decided to stay with the technology department because I believed in Lady Maribel. Clay felt differently. He didn't think he could trust her, so he bailed. We sort of got into a fight over it, but it turns out Clay was right all along. And then he's actually like being competent for once. The president and his cronies aren't on this floor, but some of the others may know something useful. I'll keep watch over things around here. In the meantime, you go on and return to your investigation. This is the most shocking part. Just don't do anything too reckless, alright? The fact that he's, like, actually serious about something that matters, it's great. I genuinely didn't expect for a moment that he would ever be portrayed as competent. The rest of the staff and I have been here since the president declared martial law. Come to think of it, this odd-looking girl was the president. Something about her seemed almost mystical somehow. I think I even heard some people refer to her as the divine child. When the speaker declared our independence invalid, it filled all of us working in the tower with a sense of dread. Still, I never could have imagined this would result. And I can't even hazard a guess at what might happen next. Yeah, now it's time to talk to folks. I'll start from the end. Lanfei? Generic guard, generic receptionist? I don't know. There's little doubt in my mind that President Croix is in bed with the Red Constellation Jaeger Corps. They were the ones who destroyed the IBC building, yet they've been walking around here like they own the place. Knowing that, I can't bring myself to keep trusting him. Not anymore. Correct choice. It only makes sense for the security department to need at least some knowledge of a building's layout and shift patterns to do the job right. But ever since we transferred to Orchis Tower, I've had a hunch that there have been a lot more skeletons getting stuffed into closets than usual. Just what in the world were Miss Maribel and President Croix doing here? Yeah, receptionist. We completely lost contact with the rest of the city once martial law was declared. Even our terminals were cut off from the orbital network. It's just terrible. Miss McDowell? Lanfei, thank goodness you're okay. Are all of the IBC's staff gathered here? That's right, on Miss Croix's instructions. Things have become so dire in the city. I just wish I knew what the president and Miss Croix are trying to accomplish. I understand your concern, but I think the best thing you can do is stay here for now. We'll handle this. Alright. Good luck to you then. Good luck to you then, is the better speech. They look like the people from the maids at Michelin. Like, I think either this one or one of them gave their job to the other so that they could interact with Wazi on the upper floor, but then they didn't have the chance to interact with Wazi or whatever. Though it could be totally different generic models that they're just reusing because they use them 15 times. Evidently, the president has been making use of some rather dubious help. And I don't mean the new defense force. He should say, and I don't just mean the new defense force. I saw a juvenile delinquent and the Jaegers who attacked the city in the tower earlier. They couldn't have looked more out of place. I'm not one to ask questions, but I did have my reservations about them. In retrospect, the warning signs were everywhere. No, they're just generic maids. Martial law was only declared last night, but everyone in the tower is already at the end of their rope. No one knows what will happen next. It's only natural everyone is anxious. I'm hoping the situation gets resolved quickly, but maybe that's just wishful thinking. We're doing what we can to look after the people trapped in the tower. One of them is a little girl over in the East Wing. I feel just awful that she got caught up in all this. That's Shizuku. I kind of hope that once I get to Cold Steel, the generic characters are also less generic in the models they use. Because, like, every butler looks like this. And even beyond butlers, the, like, receptionist at Arc-en-Ciel looks like this. The barker in front of the hotel looks like this. Like, they all look the exact same. I hope Cold Steel, even if it's the most minor differences, I hope they do make them different. This is the staircase. Like, I hope that's different, because I think that would be kind of nice, so that you could actually recognize characters and not be like, oh, this character looks exactly like one of the delinquents who doesn't know how to drive a car, but it's actually just a generic tourist. I assume this one? Yep. Oh. Dot dot dot. Kia. Father. Why? Shizuku. Or Shizuku? Gasp. Wow. How rude. Because this is the main group and these are the extras have to go here. Thank goodness you're okay. You were brought to Orchis Tower, too, Shizuku. Gotta say, I kinda expected your old man to stow you away from all of this, not smack dab in it. But whatever. Glad you're safe and sound, kiddo. Lloyd, Randy, Ellie and Tio, too. It's really you. I finally get to see what your faces look like. Wait, see? Shizuku? Has your vision returned? It has, thanks to Kia. She used whatever strange powers she has to reconnect the nerves in my eyes. Everything has been coming back. Not just light, colors and shapes too. Except colors stem from light, but I know what she means. That's incredible. I think they mean brightness, like intensity. She could judge, I don't know, intensity of light. So if it was really bright, she'd get bright light. So the power of the Septarian of Zero can affect biological processes too. I mean, I think completely deleting a body from existence is technically affecting biological processes. Man, who cares how it happened? Nah, who cares how it happens? Not quite the right tone. This calls for a celebration. Yeah. I'm proud that Kia could help a friend like this. She's got a good heart. It's true. I don't think I'll ever be able to thank her enough. But... Sob. Shizuku. What's wrong? Why do you think she's sad? Kia was trying to smile through it, but I can tell how much she was hurting. She kept saying she has to do this. But it was like she was trying to talk herself into it, not me. I know that deep down she doesn't want to help them. She doesn't want to be helping Mr. Kwa or any of them. All she really wants is to go home with you, Lloyd. Why is Kia doing this? And why is Father? Shizuku. Thank you, Shizuku, for caring so much about Kia. Again, maybe this would feel more emotional if it wasn't the 20th time it's happened in the game where one of the characters breaks down, but it's the 20th time, so there's no impact for me. And it doesn't help that Zero before it already had like 15 times of this, and like, and it's the same music, so it's just cheesy. Like, if it had different music here, it might help. But the fact that it's the same generic sappy music, well, generic is not really the right term. It's generic for the games. Like, it would be so much better if it had unique music. If it wasn't the 20th time in this game and like the 30th time in this sub-series, like, it doesn't work because there's too much. It's oversaturated with sappy moments. Thank you, Shizuku, for caring so much about Kia. It must have been difficult, being all by yourself up here. Sob sniffle. We're here to take Shizuku back. We're here to take Kia back, Shizuku. Do you know where she is? She, Arios, and the others are right now? No, I'm sorry. Nobody told me anything. I haven't seen Kia since yesterday. But Father did tell me to give you something if I saw you, Lloyd. Huh? Arios left something? A package. It looks like a knife. Father said you should have what's inside. It can be Guy's tonfas. Did Guy use tonfas? Please, open it. Sure. Yep. Probably. No way. Guy used these. Though, I don't know anything about tonfas as a weapon. Those handle parts seem small. Like, they seem like they'd be hard to hold. But maybe that is part of the system. Or maybe the scale just feels off. Maybe they're a lot bigger than it looks like they are. It's just that the rods seem too small to properly grip for how wide they are. Because with how wide they are, if your hands were that width, like, they couldn't be significantly thicker than a pencil. They could be a little thicker, but they couldn't be significantly thicker than a pencil. And that feels like it would be hard to grab, but that doesn't matter. It's just, I know nothing about these. That might be an accurate size. Guy used these. They look like they've been nicked by a blade. I suppose that's proof. He really was the one who killed Guy Bannings. I mean, now, whatever, but he could have just fought other people that use swords. Like, other people fight with swords in this world. Lloyd. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Lloyd. Yeah, okay. Looking at real tonfas, the grips are significantly wider than those looked. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Lloyd. What my father did was unforgivable. It's okay, Shizuku. There's no reason for you to feel responsible. Besides, I'm not fully convinced that Arios is the one that killed my brother. I think there's a part of the story he's not telling us. What? How do you figure? The cuts on his tonfas do indicate that the two of them were locked in a fierce battle, except it doesn't. He could have been fighting literally anyone else that uses a sword. But, whatever. Based on the number of scratches alone, I'd say my brother put up a decent fight against the Divine Blade of Wind. But there's one problem with that. Guy died from a bullet to the back. Ah. And that means there's a letter too. Is it alright if I read it now, Shizuku? Okay. That letter's also pretty small, but Lloyd, allow me this opportunity to return to you what I should have a long time ago. With this, I have nothing left to show. Whatever conclusions you draw are yours to make. What I will tell you is that the White Aeon is using the bell's resonance to control the magic golems in the city. He definitely just wants to be stopped at this point. Should you manage to defeat the White Aeon, all should fall silent in turn. Like, he's... I imagine at this point he has his doubts, but he's in too deep. Is what it's probably going for. Though maybe not. That last part. He means the same White Aeon we saw through that portal thing back at Michelin, right? Yeah? The one that gouged Corellia Fortress off the map like a scoop of ice cream, which is actually a pretty accurate description. That's a great way to, like, scooped it out. That's pretty good. Yes. But it should not be capable of using spatial annihilation anymore. But why would Arios tell us any of this in the first place? He wants to go down with the ship. He's guilty. I mean, unless they give me evasion, I'm not using them. Received 0 breaker. Give me evasion or you're gone. Whoa now. Using these old, non-maintained, chipped confas totally makes sense. It definitely makes sense that confas that are at least 3 years old are going to be better than modern confas. Definitely. Whoa now. Lloyd. My oh my. If I didn't know better, I'd think those were made for you. Except, like, every image, it seems like Lloyd should still be shorter than Guy. Because Guy was significantly taller than Cecile, but Lloyd has never been portrayed as being taller than her. Whatever. I think those were made for you. Yeah. It's almost strange how familiar they feel. But like the orbital technology in them is going to be out of date. Thank you for holding on to these, Shizuku. Except she wasn't the one that held on to them for more than like a day. The SSS will take things from here. We're going to bring Kia back. Arios too. Alright. I can tell that things have been weighing on Father for a long, long time. What happened to Mother? What happened to me? So much has been on his mind that when he realized what he was doing, it was already too late. Yeah, now he's guilty. And now, sob. It's going to be okay. I believe in my heart that Arios isn't past the point of no return. Trust us. We're going to bring your father back home. On the honor of the SSS, we promise you that. But not before we give the man a good spanking or two for leaving his only daughter in tears. Agreed. We will drag him back here on a leash, if that's what it takes. Okay. I have to note, I don't want them to interject, but the fact that neither Wazi nor Noelle said a single word, or at least a single meaningful word, is, I think, like, he said one sentence. Like, they don't say much, because they don't want to have to write in a bunch of stuff. Okay, three lines, well, lines, like, total, between the two of them, and it's all just Wazi. Oh, 2 more. Wonderful. Like, there's so little that was said. Like, 90% is other characters, instead of having, like, a division between... Like, there's not an even division between Tio and all of them, which makes sense. It does work, because Wazi, Noelle, Rixia, and Dudley, none of them would really know Shizuku as well. They don't say much. I'm glad they don't. But they don't say a lot. Oh shoot. Don't loop, please. Sniff, okay. Before we actually bring back the Divine Blade of Wind, we're going to have to find him. The question is, where are the president and his little cabinet right now? We're gonna get a phone call. Kia's not here either. Yeah. The fact that Arios left us that message might mean that he isn't... Phone call. Wow, so predictable. Whoop. I should put it on speaker. You should probably put it on speaker basically every time, but whatever. Why do you put it to your... Why'd he put it to his ear if he's putting it on speaker? What's he doing? Hey, Lloyd and crew. I finally managed to disable the security on the elevator. You did? That's perfect. Now we can... Hold on there. Thing is, there's hardly anybody left on the other floors. Or at least, that's the impression I'm getting from my search. That's not good. Hardly anyone means there are a few. Aw, come on. Then where the hell are Kia and the others? I mean, if there's 2 people, that could be Kia and someone else. And that would probably qualify as hardly any. I mean, like, 10. If there's normally 1,000 people, which there probably isn't, but go with it. If there's normally 1,000 people, if there's 10 now, that would be hardly any. If there's normally 100 and there's 3, hardly any. But whatever. For some reason they assume, oh, hardly any means they're not there. Well, I did pick up one lead. There's someone on the roof of Orchis Tower right at this second. And they have that white Aeon with them. Can the elevator get us there now? Yes. I've already released the lock, so just go right ahead and use it. Make sure you're ready for anything before you head up. Acknowledged. Thanks. Talk to you soon. It could be that professor from the society. Or maybe... No way to know for sure. If we want to find out, we're gonna have to go and see for ourselves. The elevator nearby should bring us straight there. We can also return to the first floor if we need to make any preparations. Right. Empty. Kind of a nice room. I'm gonna talk to... This music doesn't fit the moment. I'm gonna talk to him. You're useless. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna change anything right now. Something's gonna go up. Yeah, they should have saved it for once we got in the elevator. Hello? Thank goodness you're all okay. This is Merkaba Unit 9, patching in. It's Bran. I presume you have successfully infiltrated the tower? How is the operation progressing? I mean, the music does not fit for just a phone call, though. We're nearly at the top, actually. We'll fill you in on what we know. Yeah, it doesn't fit for fade to black, explain what happened, fade back in. The SSS briefed the crew on the bridge of the Merkaba about the current situation. Are we going to have supporting fire from the Merkaba while we fight on the roof? Please. I see. Then the final hour is drawing near. Heads up. That white Aeon on the roof put up some kind of barrier with a 100 arc radius, and that's how they're going to justify not giving us supporting fire. They don't expect us to get close enough to provide you with any cover fire. Got it? Darn. That's boring. Alright, understood. Sounds like we're gonna have to dismantle that thing on our own. On a related note, the other two Aeons already taken care of. One by Father Kevin Merkaba, and the other by Estelle and her crew. They've been working wonders for us. Really? That is welcome news. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, it kind of... Like, the only thing they've indicated is that the white Aeon lost its spatial annihilation. They didn't state any of the others getting weaker, I think. Maybe they did, and I didn't pay enough attention. But, like, if Estelle, Joshua, Patermater, and Ren can take out one of the Aeons, the full army of whichever side could definitely do it. But, whatever. That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad they're out there taking dubs. More importantly, you guys had better come back here alive. Eidos be with you. And whatever you do, please be careful. We will. Roger that. Yeah. And they're gonna be crashed too? But they're totally fine. Oh, he's not totally fine. Erg. I mean, he's not dead. Maybe the head-on approach wasn't such a genius idea after all. You reap what you sow. I think you just had a headache, though. This is what happens when you fully release your stigma in the real world, instead of in the Oriole. If Rufina were here, she'd be dragging you back to Arteria by your ear for being so reckless. Right. Can't imagine the boss lady's gonna be too pleased with me either. Either? My paycheck's gonna take a real dive now that I totaled the Merkaba. Hell, I'll be lucky if she doesn't fire me if they can't get it working again. I mean, to a certain extent, Crossbell would have to pay reparations, right? But hey, if that happened, I could start all over from the bottom as a squire again. I could start all over. I think it should be I could start all over again from the bottom as a squire. Then maybe someday I'll be backing you up and you can boss me around. You dolt. Hey. Thank goodness you're safe. I was so worried. We're still so far from realizing the world my sister dreamed of. And yet you go ahead and... How could you be so reckless? You nearly... Reese. I can't die. Plot armor. I know. I know there's still so much more we need to do. This ain't the first time you have to chew me out. Probably won't be the last either. But that's why I need you here. No matter how tough the going gets, will you stay by my side anyway? Of course I will. As if I could ever leave a fool like you all by yourself. And that's gonna be the other one, obviously. And then Pachamatra's dead though. It's gonna beep boop once, and then stop, maybe? Pachamatra, please tell me you're okay. I know you're in a lot of pain, but this is nothing Gramps can't fix. You'll be as good as new in no time. Told you. I knew he'd say something. No, don't say that. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. Man, he sustained critical damage to his logic unit. And as you know, there's no backup system for Gordius class archisms. Why is there no backup? Crush her. Death. Matter. You'll be alright. We'll fix you. We'll... Goodbye. Ooh, he actually went limp for a robot, which doesn't really make sense, but whatever. Sniffle sob. Same day, 12 p.m. Ding dong. That's pretty goofy. Oh, that's not how they should have handled that. They should have instantly cut from that straight to ding dong. Oh, that doesn't work. It's funny. If that's what they're going for, then that's their choice, but if they want to act as if they're trying to have it be serious, they shouldn't cut directly from the kid crying to bing bong. Your elevator has arrived. Well, anyway, I can save here. It'll save 5 seconds. Ah, it's Croyce. Well. I wasn't expecting our uninvited guests to make it all the way to the top. Do you think they designed it after his suit, or if he designed his suit after the robot? I kind of hope they designed the robot after his suit, but it's a good connection. Uncle. Datar. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's been too long. But I regret to say I don't recall making lunch plans with you today. It is exactly noon. Are you certain you have the date and time correct? I'm sure I could pencil you in for another day. Our apologies for barging in without an appointment. We're not really in, we're out, but this isn't exactly something we can take a rain check on. Rain checks are such a fun concept that I assume are not really common anymore. We have much to address. Your baseless Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence doesn't need a basis. They're declaring their state independent. He's in the position to make that declaration. That's all the basis he sort of needed. The magic golems you unleashed on the city? But why don't you save us some time and hand Keto over first? Except she's not here, obviously, so he can't hand her over. I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. What? I think there's been a fundamental misunderstanding. Kia is not being coerced into cooperating with our collective. As you know, Crossbow finds itself in a precarious position, beleaguered by threats on every side. That is her reason for working with us. Kia is protecting Crossbow of her own free will. Is that what you believe? You say that as if you didn't put her up to it. As if you haven't orchestrated everything. You were behind the Red Constellation's actions. You ordered the raid on Crossbow to stoke the people's desire for independence. And you were the one who had the IBC freeze Imperial and Republican assets, placing our state in even greater danger. And this is the reveal that it was Mariable that did that. I don't think I've ever seen such a textbook example of hero syndrome before meeting you. In the end, you created a situation where Kia would have no choice but to protect the people she cares about. Who'd have thought behind your pressed suits and pearly whites was a lying son of a bitch? You're no president of ours, Dieter. But even so, I have one thing to ask. Is this the justice you spoke of all that time ago? Yes. Yes, it is. Politics is a far dirtier game than the pretty words would have you believe. In fact, what I've done pales in comparison to the atrocities of our neighbors. Little debatable. Based on limited knowledge, but he didn't have the Jaegers actually kill civilians. That actually kind of helps a lot. If the Jaegers had, attacked the city, gone out of their way to kill civilians a lot, then that would be definitely worse. But I trust you were aware of the tragedy that transpired prior to the Empire's invasion of Liberal 12 years ago? Or the democratic revolution of the Republic, a road paved with spilled blood and stolen lives? What are you getting at? How can you imply that what you're doing now is in any way justified because of the past? Justification is not something one is entitled to. It is earned, wrested by one's own power and will. This fight's gonna take an hour, probably. You see, I was never fully invested in the Kwa family's mission, despite inheriting the position of patriarch. Truth be told, Elle has dedicated herself to it much more than I have. However, once I saw the light, once I realized my ancestors' quest to create a septarian was more than mere fantasy, I rejoiced. At that moment, I was filled with gratitude for having been born into the Kwa family. For through my lineage, I had in my reach the power to ensure this era of continental upheaval would bring justice to the land. Justice? You can't be serious. Are you trying to tell us this hasn't been for your ego? For your desire to control everything? How can you possibly stand there and claim this was all for the sake of what you call justice? Haha, what other reason is there? The IBC has been the largest asset holder on the continent for 10 years. I have no need for wealth. You think I aspire to rule the continent? Please. I'm no bloodthirsty conqueror from the Dark Ages. I was gonna say Middle Ages. It's simple. I could no longer stand the status quo. As the continent is, trapped within the framework of nations, pointless conflict is inevitable. The establishment of a sovereign state was never my true goal. As such, unsurprising that the declaration meant nothing. As such, Speaker McDowell's declaration of invalidity means nothing to me. Shocking. I'm glad they finally said it. All that matters is that my ideal of justice be realized in every corner of civilization. That my justice be the order that leads this world to peace. I think that does qualify as it being his own ego, though. You really believe that? There's some merit to what you're saying, but still, this is too much. Damn, I knew you were nuts, but I didn't know you'd gone this far off the rails. We don't need this many comments. Yes, but bringing his delusion of justice into being is no longer an impossibility. You're right. If anyone can make this madness reality, it would be Kia, the septarian of Zero. Such a power goes beyond the conventions of politics, to say nothing of moral integrity. Those hands are really weird on the Aeon. It has 3 fingers, but they're all incredibly sharp. It wouldn't be able to grab anything. Dieter Qua. I'll give credit where it's due. The SSS has benefited time and again from your help. But I realize now that we put too much stock into your perverted conception of what's just. No. We're the Special Sports Section. At the end of the day, we're members of the Crossbow Police Department. That means we have a duty to uphold the law. A duty to serve our citizens as shining examples of justice. But things aren't always so black and white. I won't deny that we've had our fair share of missteps. True, one's stance on justice can vary drastically with their perspective in life. We may make mistakes from time to time, but even so, we will chase after our ideal of justice, which is the same thing that Dieter is doing. He just has a different perspective. You said as much yourself, Mr. Kwa. How does it feel having your own speech turned against you? Hard to believe you're the same guy who made it. The pursuit of righteousness is indeed a noble one. That is to say, when one lacks the power or will to carry it out. Consider the opposite. Having both the might and resolve to exercise justice, yet refusing to do so. What else could you call that but negligence? You're wrong. Nah. Justice has no set different definitions. It evolves and grows with each and every person, but it, evolves? It changes. Change and, I guess evolution is not always positive, but, change feels more appropriate than evolve. And grow seems too positive as well. It just changes. The pursuit of it is something that holds value to everyone, man, woman, or child. What you're trying to do is homogenize it, to force your blanket perception of justice on the rest of the world. How can you possibly construe that as right? Is this really what justice is to you? I mean, if his opinion of, if what he thinks justice is, it's just the word justice. It's just the word justice. That's all that, he could view massacring millions as justice, and everyone else in the world could view that as horrific, and not doing that as justice. That doesn't change that he still calls it justice. It's just the word being used. Whatever. Kirk. I am the one who unshackled the fetters on Crossbow's political system. It's through me that any reforms were possible at all. You would dare spit on the fruits of my labors? That's a different matter entirely. We have no intention of denying your accomplishments. It's as Lloyd said, you've helped us time and again. But that's all the more reason for us to be here. If anyone is going to bring you to your senses, it should be us. I once respected you. I even regarded you as family. But now, I'm going to make you see the error of your ways. Very well. Beep beep beep. What the? Is that magic? Why are you shocked? Stay alert. Vast amounts of spiritual energy are emanating from Orchis Tower and gathering around him. Ha. I won't profess to be as adept as Bell in these matters, but as patriarch of the Kwa family, I still know a thing or two. Thus, if I utilize Orchis Tower's spiritual conversion function, I can even do this. Teleportation? Implant himself? What? Cool. Did he transfer himself into it so, his body's not in there? Neat. What? It sucked him inside. He is a robot. Sick. Good. Visual feedback and controls are fully operational. Using the power of the Septuagintarian, I can control this machine at will. Uncle, what have you... He turned himself into a robot, obviously. Is he controlling the Aeon from a spiritual phase space? The hell? Is that even possible? Of course it's possible because it happened. Behold, this white Aeon is the embodiment of the justice that stands. Hand on hip, one hand up. Okay. This white Aeon is the embodiment of the justice I will bring to the world. And now, the time has come to put my principles to the test. Pit your justice against mine, and we shall see who prevails in the end. Fine, have it your way. We'll show you what it truly means to have conviction. This fight's not going to be fun at all, because these fights are never fun. Ooh, 1 damage. 94th 90,000, well, basically 95,000 HP. She's never going to do any damage. He's resistant to basically everything. I do still think Crimson Rays can be the best because it's single target, and I don't have any, none of these other ones are good single targets. But I think Impassion being cast early is valuable. I don't need to double up Fortuna this early. Do I have any arts that I could cast quickly? So now I'm Impassioned. And then I can Crimson Ray. She casts this. And then I preemptively guard everybody. Oh, does Wazi have a different thingamadoo? Does Wazi have a different... Too slow. Does Wazi have a different one that doesn't give him... what's it called? Doesn't give him... arts anymore? What did I swap it for? Like, if Wazi doesn't have Pixie, what does he have? Because with Pixie, he should have started with 5 turns of 25% arts, and then Fortuna should have put that up to tier 2. But clearly, that's not what happened. Come on, how much damage? Please be good. That's acceptable. He's resistant to debuffs, so no point even trying. What does he have equipped, though? I can't check, which is kind of lame, but... he's going to attack again. Drill Punch. I need to re-up this. It will cast in time, good. And he's just gonna do basically nothing. I could Saint, but that's just strength and defense. I can't debuff because he can't be debuffed. None of them are debuffed. I have no reason to buff. He's just gonna attack for 0 damage, actually. I can't debuff, so I have no reason to Golden Halo. I'd rather preserve the EP, so she's going to be restoring him. Just keeping him full so he can spam Crimson Ray. She's just gonna be Fortuna and EP charge bot. I don't think there's any reason to maintain Chrono Drive because it's gonna drop too quickly to be useful. I might have this prepared in case I'm about to get hit by a physical attack in the back. Ah, arts reflect, so I'm about to get blasted by an art. And I can't do anything about it. Good gameplay. And I'm gonna get reflected and I'm gonna die. Good gameplay. I really love it. I really love... Oh yeah, you have Crimson Ray cast and you can't do anything. Like, it's so fun when you literally can't do anything because you already have the thing cast. I don't think there's a way to cleanse it, is there? And she's going to Celestial. What is she gonna do? Fortuna, because I need to get it restacked. So far, I don't like this fight. I mean, none of these fights are ever actually any good. They're almost always terrible. Okay, buffed. Aqua Mirage, sure. I already have that. Forte's useless. Might as well do that. Yeah, I think these like boss fights are all kind of all over the place. She could attack, but like 935. If the moment I cast Crimson Ray, if the first thing he does is provide the guard, I'm gonna want to quit instantly. Okay, that's acceptable. Arts Reflect is such an unfun mechanic to deal with. She needs to restore her own EP. Okay, I'm dead. He's gonna... No? What was that? You know what, let's just play it safe for a minute. So I'm about to get burst. If I just make sure that I can burst him a ton in the burst phase, I'll be fine. I'm not gonna be able to do half his health in the burst phase, but... if I just... make sure everything else is ready for the burst phase. Impassion. Fortuna. And then Fortuna again. And then a Firebolt. A Stone Spike. Okay, now it triggered. I'm gonna wait a second. This is gonna hit, and now I'm gonna trigger it. Like these fights are always, I think, incredibly hit or miss. Like, they're never very fun. She doesn't have EP to do. Wait, she has the amount of fire for that too? Wow. I'm actually shocked. Anyway, she's out of EP. Probably better to be... just make it so that her next turn she can do something. I should have waited till after her craft went off. Oh well. Death Spiral, whatever. Not gonna hit hard enough, but... yeah, Crimson Ray's not gonna hit hard, but it's gonna be the hardest hitting that she can do. I'm gonna have to re-up Fortuna. You know what? He doesn't do anything. He's just gonna move over here so that if it targets a line, I'll be fine. Let's just hope that he doesn't defend himself again. After Tio's attack, I'm gonna guard. Patriotic Field. So fun. Good design. So I'm gonna reflect it. It's gonna hit the guard. And I need to spam... actually, no, it's probably in my best interest if he doesn't use any. She's gonna get hit. I think it's actually probably best if I just have him take a hit. And I use this opportunity to buff. And like... I don't know, Adamantine Guard, sure. So this ooh, it's too slow. Yeah, I messed up. Oh well. Anyway, that's gonna trigger just fine. He needs to heal. But he's attacking too quickly. So I don't have the time to give the EP charge to him. So this should be fine, hopefully. I need to restack Fortuna. I got distracted because I had too much stuff to deal with. Fortuna needs to be stacked. And then be safe, let's give her some EP. Just a couple more Crimson Rays. 2 more? Ooh, 1 more and then I can S-break. That should be fine. Except I get 1 shot. Lovely. Cheapest is Peerless. Let's hope that I get a turn. Okay, she gets a turn. She might not cast fast enough. Just on the off chance, I'm going to move over here. Celestial's slow. Hopefully, good. Because I changed the angle, it worked well. Anyway, now she needs to restore herself. She will Adamantine Guard. She will Fortuna. He will go aggressive. Though I probably should regen EP if I want to be safe. Like, I think EP regen would be the safest. This is overkill, but I'm going to cast more arts if I do Celestial instead of another heal. It gives her, it lets her act sooner. I mean, this is where combat's kind of interesting, but then it's also really bogged down by the enemies being incredibly uninteresting to fight. It's like, you have so few attacking options, so the only thing really interesting is the self-buffing and managing that, but that's not that interesting. Come on. Level up. Nothing. Nothing's anywhere near a relevant level up. I'm talking about Master Quartz. Mobius got a lot. I want Mobius to level up. That would be nice. Pixie leveling up would be nice too. Well, yeah, he did have Pixie. Why did he not start with an arts buff? Did he not start with an arts buff? Or did he die right away? Hey, Grail Locker, that's good. It also doesn't make sense that we would be able to fight one of the Aeons when it took Patermater's self-destructing to beat one, but whatever. But we did it. Maybe we haven't won yet. That takes care of that. Yeah, it's not over yet. No, wait. Its spiritual energy is rising again. But how? We don't know anything about it, but somehow we're confident that that took it out. Did I forget to mention? The Septarian of Zero provides this machine with an infinite source of power. I don't want it to be another fight, because another fight would just be boring. But if it just cheaps out with, oh, the barrier went down so the Merkaba nukes it from orbit, that would be boring, too. Infinite source of power. The only way to stop it would be to annihilate it entirely. Merkaba. Bang! I suppose there's no room in his justice for fair play. That has nothing to do with fair play, but whatever. There has to be something we can do. And this is where Zeit jumps in, maybe? Settle down. I've no intention of taking your lives. That is, if you surrender peacefully and subscribe to my ideology. Did Kia just say... Kia saw us fighting him and was like, no more power for you. ... question mark, exclamation mark. What in the... Kia saw? Kia's behind us? Kia's standing behind us? What's going on? The flow of spiritual energy ceased? Kia is not standing right behind us. She's not up here. Is the power being redirected elsewhere? It would be pretty funny if Kia was right behind us, but she isn't, so... How nice that it has a failsafe that he doesn't get trapped in the parallel world. This can't be happening. Oh, did someone else stop that? That would be pretty funny. But that's not what it is. I have no guess for what it is. Whoa! They vanished. Their supply of spiritual energy must have run dry. Man, about time. I'm beat. Heh, they pulled it off. What is the meaning of this? Why has the power from the Septarian suddenly halted? That is the professor. It would appear that playtime is over, I'm afraid. Novartis. The ennui from the society. F. Novartis, of the 13 factories, as if we need his first name to be F. What are you saying, Professor Novartis? What is the meaning of this? Is this another of the Society's ploys? Did you lay some kind of trap in this machine? Weren't you told? The only thing you were gifted was assistance. Now that I've acquired all the data I seek, I'll be taking my leave soon, along with the final model behind you, as per our contract. Contract? Are you out of your mind? I bought this machine directly from the Society, and I didn't read the contract. You've no right to take it back. I'm afraid not. That's not how contracts work. There's been a slight amendment to the terms and stipulations. It states that once the machine has served its purpose, we are allowed to recover it. You can see the dotted line for yourself, but it was an amendment based on the phrasing. It was made after he signed, which means that it wouldn't be an acceptable amendment unless, like, he gave power of decision-making to somebody else who agreed to it. And apparently, in contracts, you need some sort of concession if you want to change it and whatever. Like, there needs some degree of concession, so maybe there is a concession. You can see the dotted line for yourself. Yep, there it is. The signature reads, Maria Belcroix, because he let her do stuff. What? Oh, it's all true. This slow text. That laugh. It's Belle. Shocking. But she's talking now. Belle, what have you done? Where even are you right now? Are you not inside Orchis Tower? Of course not. I haven't been there for quite some time. I am with Kia, as are the rest of us. What? You really think they wouldn't be in the same place? Anyway, that's right. We didn't come across any of them as we searched the floors. Like, yeah, you don't need to repeat that. Okay, again, why is Wald here? He's like a goon. There's no justification for him to be in any position to be here. There's no reason for this there's no way there's going to be sufficient justification for him being in this image. Arios. Uncle Shirley. Even Wald. So he really is with them, except he's still a nobody, so I don't know why he's anywhere near the upper echelon. ... Heh. Wow, things are really heating up now. Shh. What is going on here? I don't believe this. All of you are betraying me? My apologies, Mr. President. However, my intentions and loyalties were never with you from the start. My collaboration was always in service to the aims of Maribel, as well as her legal counsel. What? What is the legal... Oh, her legal counsel, meaning the other dude. Legal... No, it can't be. But it is. I mean, I think the first time I saw him in Zero, I was like, he's either a good guy or like the final villain. So I wasn't wrong. Question mark, exclamation mark. I don't know if it exists anywhere the first time I saw him. 'Cause that might, if that was in the prologue, then it would have been lost to the ether. Gasp. What? We don't need everyone interjecting. You're kidding. No way. Stop interjecting. Explain yourself, Mr. Grimwood. How could you scheme like this behind my back? For ages I've come to you for guidance. I trusted you. Indeed. And so too have you always been our prized pupil to me, Dieter. Your business sense is second to none, and your skills as a politician exceeded my expectations as well. You have just one fatal flaw. It's that you're an idealist. Question mark? Up until now, Father, you've assumed that everything has been going exactly as you planned it. In actuality, every step we've taken has been according to Mr. Grimwood's vision, not yours. From the manipulation of the cult, to the agenda of the trade conference, to the raid on Crosswell City, to the moment you declared independence. Tell me, Father, just who was it that put those very ideas into your head? Had you remained on track, I would have been content to stay on the sidelines. But I have determined that it is no longer in my best interest to continue pulling the strings from the shadows. The Azure Zero project will proceed as planned, with myself at the helm. Azure Zero? What is that? Soon the Septarian of Zero will take its final form. The Azure Tree, where the ruler of space-time will rearrange the very principles of causality. Witness its rebirth. You guys seeing this? What is this blue light? To the southeast, near the wetlands. Wow. What the hell? Oh. It might freeze in a second here. So I'm going to try to get a good screenshot maybe. If there's a good image. Okay, maybe in a minute. It's going to take a long time for a tree to grow. It's a big tree. It's really ugly though. Like, it's not a pretty tree. I was hoping it would be pretty. I mean, that's a pretty tree. Apologies, but I gotta get that. Might freeze for just a second. Dot dot dot. What? Well, would you look at that? Definitely an appropriate line. Ah ha ha ha. Magnificent. We are bearing witness to the product of the singularity. An unanticipated miracle that brings even the salt pail to shame. Oh, hold on. Did you say that tree is a true form of the Septarian of Zero? Where's Kia? What have you done to her? Oh ho ho. I can't understand why you feel the need to ask. After all, your dear, beloved Kia is right in front of your eyes. For the Azure Tree is Kia herself. It bears mentioning, however, that her heart and body have not been lost in the process. You can rest easy in that respect. More importantly, she has now become the arbitrator of all. There is no need to consider this a grim outcome for her, nor for any of you. If possible, I would like for all of you to remain in your roles as her guardians. This is all too much. None of this crap is making any sense. No, a girl just turned into a tree makes perfect sense. Right? That's what I said. But who cares either way, as long as it's a good time. Yeah, because this would totally be a good time. If you plan to interfere, then go ahead. I have no objections to stopping you myself. I mean, he wants us to interfere. Like, Sigmund definitely wants to fight. Doing so is already provided for in the contract, after all. I don't give a damn what their big plan is. But if I so much as see your face, I'm finishing you off for good. Please, please let Wald be a fight that's, like, built up, and then he goes down near instantly, please. Like, don't make it a scripted instant loss fight. Or even make it a hard fight. Make it a trivial fight, because that's what Wald deserves. Got that, Wazzy? Wald. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Goodbye, everyone. Do take care. And before I go, thank you for everything you've done for me throughout the years, Father. You may have been a simple, hopelessly romantic fool of a man, but in the end, I never could bring myself to hate you. Belle. As curious as I am to stay and watch how things unfold, other plans beckon me to faraway lands. I'll have to settle for reading all about it in the follow-up reports. Wait. Why teleport for that? Like, just have it pick you up. Haha, I'll be going now. I don't know how much you can hope to accomplish, but at least try to put up a good fight. I would hate for you to provide me with data that's anything less than noteworthy. I mean, that's actually kind of nice. He's like, you'll provide data that's noteworthy. That's at least kind of positive. That he thinks we can provide noteworthy data. ... That nut job just had to get the last word in. Is anyone hurt? Injured? Okay, time to... You guys? What happened here? More importantly, where did that giant tree come from? Well, time to fade to black. Where do we even begin? Suffice it to say, it means things aren't over just yet. It better fade to black soon. Get rid of this OST. Get rid of it. Chief. Well, this track of the OST. Is everyone on the ground alright? Yeah, those magical constructs vanished into thin air. We've already secured the tower. That aside. What in the hell happened here? Please, just fade to black. Don't have them explain anything. A lot. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Lloyd and the others outlined the events that had just transpired. I'm glad it was predictable. Unbelievable. So Grimwood orchestrated it all. It goes against all reason. It explains a lot. Especially taking into account his connections in foreign affairs, business, the police, the guild. The list goes on. Thinking back on it, he had access to all the resources needed to pull something like this off. Apparently, this information, if I hadn't missed Nielsen in chapter 1 or whatever, going through his quest line, that's a secret quest line, you would have known this before here, I think, because the achievement pops when if you check like stuff leading before you enter Orchis Tower. It's like the Grim Mastermind or the Mastermind Grim or something. It doesn't totally point it to Grim because I forgot his name was Grimwood. But thinking back on it, he had access to all the resources needed to pull something like this off. Hell. If I know what his motive is, but we... Hell if I know what his motive is. But we don't have time to suss that out right now. Right. Wazi, can you call the Merkaba? I was waiting for you to ask. You're heading over then, huh? Yes. I know this might fall outside the scope of our work as officers of the law, except you're not actually working as officers of the law, because as it stands now, you're a fugitive. But if that's what we're going to, if that's where we're going to find Kia, and answers to all of our questions, there's no other choice. My thoughts exactly. Someone has to stop Belle. It would be pointless to surrender after coming this far. And I've got a little family reunion waiting for me over there. It's so weird, because, like, there was a whole scene with Shirley that pertained to her going to mines to, like, fight with somebody. But that still hasn't been revealed. Like, unless it's Wald, and he was just playing around doing nothing, like, it's weird. I wonder when that's going to be revealed. I have a responsibility to go too, do you? Hey, I'm the one providing the ride, and if the Merkaba goes, so do I. Not to mention, I have an axe to grind with Wald. I have my own score to settle as well. She and I will end this once and for all, except you won't be there. Haha. This is something I must do. I have questions for McLean and Grimwood both, and I intend to give them the 3rd degree myself. They won't be going there without me. Haha. Guess there's no point in arguing with any of you. Leave the city to us. We'll figure out what to do with the president and everyone else in the tower. Listen up. I want you to go there and settle this the way you think it needs to be done. This is more than just a job for the Special Support Section. You've got a duty to do this for yourselves. Yes, sir. I mean, we're still technically not... Like, all of this was done while we were a fugitive. I'm still a rank down from where I could be, because I think you could be at... Yeah, you could be at max rank for here already. Oh no, it's from here on that you get the trophy that's called Grim Realization, which is a great name for an achievement. Because Grim Realization is a very good name. I have to say the irony is, reading, looking over a guide briefly, the first thing I'm going to be doing next time is talking to everyone in the city again, including in the outlying regions. It doesn't fit that I'm allowed to do that, and that there's a reason to. Are you for real? That thing's absolutely nuts. Is it true? Did Kia really make that tree appear? Yes. We have no reason to doubt it. The Azure tree. The final form of the artificial septarian. How unfathomable that such a thing could sprout from the delusions of man. Am I correct in assuming that even you don't know what kind of power it's capable of? Yes. All my senses tell me is that there is something extraordinary about the blue light it emits. It holds ascendancy over all elements, time, space, and mirage included. The Qua family manufactured the Septarian of Zero as a facsimile of the Septarian of Mirage. Could it be that the power to control space and time was included in the process? I cannot profess to hold any insight on what the Septarian is capable of. Simply put, it would be to our benefit to assume that nothing is beyond its limits. You're kidding. A power of that magnitude would rival even Eidos herself. Whatever the case, it doesn't change what we have to do. Arius, Maribel, Mitz, Grimwood, and everyone standing with them. We're going to find out what it is they're really after. And then we're taking Kia back. Exactly. Without a doubt. Oh, heck yeah. This is starting to give me goosebumps. In a good way, of course. Grace, what are you still doing here? Shouldn't you have disembarked with Speaker McDowell? Can it, mister? You can't tell me what to do. I've got a duty to give cross-balance of facts, and there's no better place to find them than on the front lines. So let me do my job, and that front page feature is as good as yours. This can hardly end well. Hate to change the subject. We'd better get a head start on prepping up. You're right. There's no telling what could be waiting for us there. Fighting on the ground has ceased, so there's no place in the state we can't get to with the Merkaba now. The Merkaba. You can give the order if there's somewhere in particular you need to visit. Will do. Okay, so I'm gonna visit that all tomorrow. But by tomorrow I mean next time, which will not be tomorrow. Monster extermination, monster extermination, monster extermination. These are all short, so I'm gonna have to do them right away. I might not do them right away, but... So my plan is... It's gonna be the usual classics. Talk to literally everyone in Crossbow City. Then go like St. Ursula, clockwise around, and that's that. Except I won't go to Michelem, even though I can. I'll leave Michelem, then the wetlands, then the Azure Tree for last. Assuming they aren't all connected. It's gonna be a lot of running around to talk to all the people. I'm not even gonna go for 100% of everything. Like, there might be stuff at the Doll Studio worth talking about. There might be stuff at the Sun Fort worth looking at. I'm not even gonna try. But I do have 2 monster chests I'm gonna have to pick up. It's gonna take at least 2 more episodes to run through all this, maybe 3. I'm gonna try to do it in 2. I'm gonna try to do Crossbow City in 1. It's gonna take longer than normal, but getting that all done in 1, then all the outlying regions in 1, and then leave this for after that is I think what I'll aim for. But I mean, the city might take longer than I expect, the outlying regions might take longer than I expect, but I'm gonna try to just do it in 2. So that I can then get to the actual conclusion at that stage. But that is for next time. For now, I stop here at it's a pretty good stopping point. So, have a good day. Bye-bye.